Rams fans, welcome in on this edition of Rams Showcase. Special Teams Shakeup brings a calming exhale. Plus, big games in the playoff race ahead. And later, a fight for control in the division. We preview Seahawks at Rams. Let's rock.
We here, man. We gotta take advantage of it. Victory on one. Let's go.
This is Rams Showcase. And now your host, Sheriff Joe Bags.
Yes, welcome to it, Rams Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. Shout out Willy Will, helping out bring me in on this week's version of this intro. You want to be in that, by the way, we can make that happen. Just reach out, dude. I'll tell you exactly what I need. It's just your voice saying exactly what Will just said. It's super easy, I promise, dude. Absolutely awesome. But follow Will as socials will be in the description below, so check us out there. Heads up, catch myself and Tuna every Monday, Wednesday, Friday live for Tuna and the Sheriff. That is 7 a.m. LA time on the First in Tuna podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Ram Showcase Facebook page. You can check it out there. Make sure you follow along on socials at Ram Showcase, at Sheriff Joe Bags, and RamShowcase.com. Got a pretty awesome football game going on this weekend, as one we've been looking forward to for quite some time. If you're not into what's happening right now in the world of the LA Rams football squad, is good stuff, all right? A lot of cool things going on right now. So obviously we'll get into that full game preview, rocking the rivalry uniforms this time around. That'll be rather sweet. But like I said, we'll get into that game preview here shortly. First, though, the news. Let's get into some, really just the main story here, which is the exhale that I, much like you maybe, also had quite the exhale when watching the kicking unit for the Rams this week. Obviously, we did not get an opportunity to see an actual field goal situation, but we did see 6 extra points. 6 for 6 for Harrison Mevis, the thicker kicker, which nickname's kind of, it was fun for a week. I think it's time to find something new. Maybe I'm alone there, but I don't think it's very cool. So either way, we'll get there, I'm guessing. But Mevis rocking it for the Rams kicking situation, and then Jake McQuaid taking over at long snapper, and we'll touch on that actually right now. So the Rams have waived long snapper Alex Ward. He is no longer part of the squad. He did clear waivers. He did not get claimed, so he is officially an NFL free agent, free to sign with any team that was looking for his services. Obviously, we've got nothing bad to say about Alex Ward. Wish him all the best in what he finds as for his next NFL team and such. Unsure what happened. The entire situation is a little bit messy, and a little foggy, I would say, from the outside perspective of exactly what went down in that situation. Obviously, the Rams felt like long snapper was the more critical aspect to get changed, as we do know that obviously now with Jake McQuaid being here and Alex Ward not, that moving forward we will see number 44 Jake McQuaid taking those snaps. Incredible human, incredible football player, and now Jake McQuaid has played in 161 games as a member of the Rams, first making his way over UDFA in 2011 to the St. Louis Rams. His 161 current games is the most by any current Ram by a margin. And I kind of just let you know that to say that even Tyler Higbee, Rob Havenstein, these guys, not even that, kind of close, I guess. I think Havenstein's at 147 as far as games played as a Ram. But obviously with McQuaid, 161, he's got it by a margin. He needs to leave, and then Rob needs to play for a little while longer to be able to catch up. Pretty much like a whole extra season for Rob Havenstein to be able to catch up to Jake McQuaid, who is now one of 2 St. Louis Rams who are still on the roster, which is absolutely awesome. Obviously, we were down to just Rob Havenstein for a little while. But McQuaid went out, he got to spread his wings amongst the some of the other NFL teams, and now found his way back to the coop, dude. So he's hanging back out with the Rams, and obviously we're thrilled about it, obviously, because Jake McQuaid, he was so good at it for so long. We never heard his name. Greg Zuerlein, Johnny Hecker, that little trio was absolutely incredible, and hopefully we're able to kind of cultivate another sweet little trio possibly using McQuaid, dude. He's only 37 years old, dude. He's as old as Matthew Stafford, which in the quarterback years, Matthew Stafford's like elderly at this point. And in long snapper years, Jake McQuaid at 37, dude, he's like basically a teenager. We can have him for as long as we want him to, man. I don't know why auto voice keeps coming in. I don't know how to explain that. Also, roster note as far as the switch from McQuaid to Alex Ward. Jake McQuaid was actually activated from the practice squad last week, so he wasn't a member of the roster. So the Rams waiving Alex Ward and then elevating Jake McQuaid to the active roster. Now that means that there was no openings there. So I understand that a lot of people were like, well, McQuaid was here last week. Now we have a spot with Ward. That's not necessarily the case with those practice squad rules where you're able to pull up some players and still have them remain on the practice squad. So now, though, Jake McQuaid, full-time member of this Rams roster, and we're stoked for it, dude. Like I said, was 2011 that he first showed up to the Rams, so it's been a while, man. He is one of us, dude. Straight up, he's been through it, all right? He is not one of these newbies. Like I said, he's played more games as a Ram than anybody right now. And anybody on the coaching staff, he's been here for more than they have. So, I mean, he's kind of like the guy. Like, if anybody wants any war stories from St. Louis, Jake McQuaid's kind of that guy, you know what I mean? So, pretty cool stuff there. And as far as the boot goes, Harrison Mevis goes 6 for 6 on extra points, and he will get the job again this week. So, Harrison Mevis is going to show up, and in one game, he gets to travel up to San Francisco and beat up on the 49ers as a member of the Rams. And then also, he also gets to rock a sweet rivalries jersey in his second game. So, I don't know, man. That's pretty cool stuff. We'll see who gets jerseys traded for these rivalries jerseys. I feel like a lot of guys will want to keep theirs. But who knows? Who knows, dude? But Mevis, he's going to make his home crowd debut this week, as the Rams do continue to work with kicker Josh Carty. The entire kicking unit just looked really smooth last week, but with Carty still not being waived, it's hard to tell what the Rams' true plan is at the kicker position, whether that's going to be something where we kind of have Mevis for certain situations. I don't think that would necessarily be the case, but I don't know what they're doing. Blanket statement. I have no idea what's going on right now with the kickers, so I think that Josh Carty not being waived tells me that they do see a world, at least today, before we head into this game against the Seahawks. At least today, the Rams clearly see a way where he could be the kicker later in the season into the postseason if he, can clear up this little bit of just a slump that I would kind of consider what he's in right now. Obviously, I don't know what's going on with Josh Carty right now, but clearly there's something with the Rams where they're not just ready to boot him to the curb. This team is ruthless. I talked about this on Tuna and the Sheriff on Wednesday morning. This team is ruthless. We'll get rid of guys way too early. I mean, we literally go against one of the guys that we all were like, why are we getting rid of this guy? What are we doing? He's great. Cooper Kupp this week will come to town. And the Rams were like, no, we're going to move on. And he was like, I really don't want to move on. I'd rather stay here. And we were like, nah. So this team's ruthless, man. To keep Carty, I think it says a lot. I really do. I think that's quite a vote of confidence for Josh Carty. And also, as Harrison Mevis, you got to be like, well, those not good enough, dude? How much straighter can I get these kicks? How much more dead center can I even get? Like, I'm your guy, So, obviously, we'll see what the decision ends up being. I'm indifferent, whether it's Mevis, whether it's Carty. I can think of sweet nicknames for either, so I'm good on either side. I just want the kicks to go in. That's it. Whoever can do that. And I did get a comment this morning on Tuna and the Sheriff that was like, well, Carty would have missed at least one. It's like, you don't know that. Like, we can speculate and say that, like, based on his averages, that it's possible that he would have missed at least one, but, like, we don't know that, dude. So, obviously, with a new operation, too, with a new holder or a new snapper, that's far from a guarantee that he was gonna miss one. You know what I mean? So, either way, at least dealing with kicker situations where we're dealing with 1s and 3s, we're doing it in a era, at least right now. Hopefully it continues where we're just absolutely we're just roundhouse kicking people with the jugulars right now. So obviously we want to keep that going, and hopefully 1s and 3s don't actually end up mattering at any point, because we just put up 6s, dude. So that's the plan, right? But if it's Mevis, I feel confident saying that our boots could absolutely beat up anybody else. Like, you think, like first of all, I think Ethan Evans could beat up any kicker punter combo in the league, like by himself. You know what I mean? Ethan Evans, probably the strongest player in the NFL. I think he could beat up any kicker-punter combo that you can present to me in the league right now. And then you also add a 242-pound Harrison Mevis backing him up. Dude, it's game over, dude. Bring out your kickers and your punters, toe-to-toe. My boy's going to beat him up. That's all right. Tell me I'm wrong, dude. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, let's get into the standings here as obviously playoff race getting real thick. Getting awesome, man. Digging it right now. We had a sweet situation where if the Packers were able to pull out a win on Monday, this game, the Rams and Seahawks, could have been to be for first place in the NFC, but that didn't happen. That's okay. Things happen, man. Whatever. Green Bay Packers and Philadelphia Eagles, they both looked terrible, and I don't know, dude. Maybe it's just me. Maybe there's some stuff kind of leaking out there, but feels like Philly might be dead. I'm just saying, man. Philly might be dead because Green Bay's they're pretty close to dead too. They have 0 weapons, man. Like, how are you supposed to run an offense when your best receiver is Romeo Doubs? No shade intended here, but like, he's not number 1. He's a 3. You know what I mean? I realize that Golden and Kraft and all that stuff. We don't need to like fully dive into my thoughts on the Green Bay Packers on Rams Showcase, but it is relevant in the NFC playoff race. Let's take a peek at it, dude. So Philadelphia Eagles sitting in first place again this week, 7-2 record. They beat Green Bay last week. They take on the Lions this week, so it does not get easier for the Philadelphia Eagles. Seattle Seahawks sitting in second place at the NFC, 7-2. They beat the Cardinals this week playing the Rams. Detroit 6-3. They defeated Washington this week, of course, playing at Philadelphia. Tampa Bay holds that 4 slot, 6-3 record. They lost to the New England Patriots last week, and this week they are in Buffalo, who's got to be angry, right? They just got smoked by Miami, so I would imagine that that game's not going to be a super easy walk in the park for Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield and the boys, but we'll have to see. If the season ended today, those Buccaneers will be playing your Los Angeles Rams at 7-2, beating the Niners last week and taking on the Seahawks this week. 6th seed, who would be playing Detroit right now, is a 6-3 Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears offense is better than the Packers, dude. Write this down somewhere, so just so you can be like, do you remember that? Do you remember when the Bears offense was better than the Packers? I don't know why you guys say it old-timey like that, but it makes sense. They did defeat the Giants last week, this week at Minnesota. Toss-up of a game. I don't even know who to pick for that one. And the Green Bay Packers, 5-3-1. They lost to Philly last week and taking on the Giants this week. Giants firing their head coach. Dable is out. Kafka is in. And Jackson Dart not playing in this game. Jameis Winston going to get the start for the New York Giants. So also another toss-up of a football game. I don't know how to pick that one, dude. So I feel like normally when there's a team that fires their head coach, there's like at least one game in there where it's like they're just playing their hearts out. You know what I mean? I think largely, I don't think it's that. I actually think it's like it's hard to get tendencies and stuff like that with a brand new coach. You have no idea what he's going to pull out in certain situations. Either way, I think that's mainly it. And also, we didn't get to see that when we fired Jeff Fisher and had Bones coaching. He just got smoked all 3 games. So we didn't get to see it, but it was very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. Fun trivia fact here, by the way, is that when Bones was the Rams head coach, he coached the Rams in just 3 games, and the Rams wore different horns on their helmets in all 3 of those games. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that information. I don't know where you can pull that out, but it is true, and you're welcome for it. But that's what we're dealing with in the NFC playoff race right now. Right, just sitting just outside of the playoff race is the Niners, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Dallas Cowboys. I would say, if I had to guess, all the teams that are in right now are the teams that make it. I don't know for sure, and maybe Green Bay kind of falls off, but I think that San Fran, Carolina, Minnesota, Dallas, I think that those are all the teams sitting on the outside. Philly, Seattle, Detroit, Tampa Bay, your Los Angeles Rams, the Bears, and the Green Bay Packers, I do think make the playoffs. I think that is your NFC playoff slate, so I mean, take that for what you will. We'll see what happens, man. Just some other notes here as well. Philly and Detroit is the official Sunday headliner, if you will, as it will be played on Sunday Night Football. But also Seahawks and Rams, obviously, such an incredible matchup. But let's also not pretend. I realize that we are Rams fans and we want the Rams to be in primetime, obviously. But do you think for 1 second the NFL was going to remove the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles against their golden child, the Detroit Lions, from Sunday Night Football in favor of us, dude, no shot, man. Like, I get it. Yeah, we should probably be in primetime in some capacity for this game. We get primetime for the next matchup of these two, but obviously Philly and Detroit was never going to get flexed out of primetime. That was never a real thing. So I understand where all of our thought processes are, but I also I don't want to wait all day for Sunday night, dude. That sucks. I want to play this game right away, man. I'm so far. I'm going to be pacing my apartment before this one kicks off. It's going to be a hard time, man. That pregame live that we do this week is going to be probably pretty chaotic. Well, but it should be fun, man. Green Bay needs to win to keep some confidence, I think. They could have used a top wide receiver at any point this year. They did not even try to address that. Got to figure that out, I think. But they've got just lots of threes up there, a lot of third wide receivers up there. I know there's some reports that the Rams had some interest in Matthew Golden, that was a possible player that they were looking at in the first round. And when he got snagged, it was like, well, we still got other dudes we like. But also, Matthew Golden, very talented player. But, I mean, I feel like in the Rams offense, he would have fit in nicely behind Devontae and Puka. In Green Bay, they're wanting him to be a 1, and that's just tough business, man. Minnesota is holding on. They are sitting outside right now. I think that they are pretty much going to fall completely out of the picture here in the next few weeks. I just think they've got no swag left to them. That team's not playing. I don't know. They're very Katy Perry with this year, man. I don't know if they're going to be hot or cold every given week. So it's just, they're very difficult to nail down. Green Bay win and a Rams win. Rams would hold the top seed in the NFC at the week's end. Did I write that wrong? I think I'm looking for Detroit instead. Detroit win and a Rams win. Rams sitting in the 1 seed after this week. Quick peek at your NFC West standings. Seahawks first place 7-2. Rams second place 7-2. That can obviously change this week. San Fran sitting in third 6-4, and the Arizona Cardinals slipping away at a 3-6 record right now. For the second week in a row, the NFC West will play itself, as last week the Rams played the Niners and the Seahawks played the Cardinals. This week, Seahawks and Rams, Niners and Cardinals, both kicking off, at the same time, which is going to be 1:05 Pacific time. NFC West is super tight. Obviously, the Cardinals slipping out of contention, probably going to fade off into oblivion at some point here soon. Kyler Murray may be done in Arizona. I see some Rams fans that are like, we should probably get him. And we should absolutely not get him. By all means necessary, do not get Kyler Murray. I could name so many players I'd rather have than Kyler Murray on my squad, but we'll see how that shakes out. I also don't think it's impossible. I think it's more possible than other people think that he plays baseball. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just crazy out of here, but I do feel like that's not an impossible situation. But either way, Cardinals, definitely slipping out. They're starting Jacoby Brissett now at quarterback. They're dealing with injuries still, so I don't know. It's very exciting to talk about the Arizona Cardinals in September, but as soon as it hits October, November, December, I mean, it just kind of fades away, and then it's like, oh yeah, remember, they were decent to start, but they're not now. That just happens every year, it seems like. So, Rams are done with the games, with their matchups against the San Francisco 49ers, have yet to play the Seahawks or the Cardinals. Obviously, we get the first one against Seattle this weekend, and then Arizona still got a couple against them as well. So nothing too crazy there. But I think it's time we get into this game preview, dude. Stop messing around, man. I feel like I've been holding you hostage here before we get into this game preview, and then fan cases on the back end here. But let's get into that, man. So we'll take a quick break here. On the other side, Seahawks at Rams. Full game preview. It's Ram Showcase. Welcome back in, Ram Showcase. My name is Sheriff Joe Baggs. The 7-2 Los Angeles Rams hosting the 7-2 Seattle Seahawks this weekend. SoFi Stadium on Sunday, 1:05 p.m. kickoff. This game will be televised on Fox. Fox is on the single for this one. So as far as the coverage goes, let me just kill time here as I get to the correct page, as I did not have the color ready. So it's going to be in the blue zones here. And let me see if I can get some good coverage. Show me some good coverage. Not as good as you would want. Chicago, Minnesota taking up a good chunk of that map there in the red. So obviously Seahawks and Rams, plenty of areas there, kind of peppered in all over the country, but Check your local listings, I suppose. Joe Davis, Greg Olson on the call. Pam Oliver will be broadcasting from the sideline. And for you bettors, Rams are -3, -164 on the money line, 48.5 for your over-under. Those are FanDuel numbers, not a sponsor. We don't have necessarily pants picks, but we'll give you an update on our records. Null for rivalries, but no one can lose this week. I've been getting smoked in the pants picks. Sitting in last place with a 3-6 record. Rams house coming in hot, man. 6-3. He's only messed up the pants 3 times. That's good news. You don't want to mess up your pants more than 3 times. And Peo and Tuna tied in the middle there, 5-4. So there's still time for Sheriff Joe Bags to come back around and take a pants picks lead. But slipping away for sure there. So we'll see how the rest of the year goes. Make sure you hop in for pants picks as well. We always select what color pants we think the Rams will wear. Everybody plays it, dude. It's sweeping the nation. Your mom plays it. I think you should as well. Take a look at the history of this matchup. This is the 56th all-time meeting between these two. Seahawks lead the all-time series 28-27. So Rams can tie it up all-time with a dub on Sunday. The last game between these two came earlier this year. That was January 5th of 25. That was a 30-25. I put Seattle. I thought the Rams won that game. Was it? Okay. It was earlier this year, though. The Rams won the previous 3 before that, so yeah, it wasn't Seattle win. There you go. First ever between these two came on Halloween of 1976. It was a 45-6 win by the LA Rams. There's so many things that we're looking for in this game, as far as like the matchup, the stories, the intensity of this matchup. It's all right there, man. So this is one of the best matchups so far of the entire season. Any team, any week, any game, any situation. This is one of the best games we've seen so far. Up to this point of the 2025 NFL season. Week 11 action, man. 2 teams that are very similar situations. First of their 2 meetings, so we will take on the Seahawks Thursday Night Football in December. That'll happen in Seattle. Seahawks will be in their rivalry uniforms for that one, so we'll get eyeballs on theirs ourselves as well, which is rather cool. But first of 2 meetings, meaning that this does not necessarily absolutely destroy you if you lose this game. But it obviously gives you a huge leg up if you can win this game. Put one of those wins in your back pocket, and then you don't have to worry about it as much as the season goes on. But if you do lose this game, you still get to take on this team later this year. You get to even that up, and you also still have you get a total of 3 more division games after this and conference games the rest of the way out against teams that are relevant. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Carolina Panthers. So you get Detroit Lions. You get matchups against teams that can help you as far as the standings go and as far as the playoff action goes. So this game, obviously, massive game for this division, this playoff race, NFC West, all that stuff. But it does not completely murder your season if you do lose this game. But it also helps you a ton to pull it off. So obviously, both teams want to get that advantage and be able to head into week 12 and on with a massive win in your back pocket. These teams' losses, we know the Rams' losses week 3 in Philadelphia, and then week 5 against the San Francisco 49ers. Total of 10 points that the Rams lost those 2 games by, but obviously the Eagles got 6 on that blocked kick right at the very end of the game. So we can call it 4 points. It really was 10. Those points did exist technically, so take that. But San Francisco's losses came in week 1 against San Fran and against the Bucs in week 5. So 2 teams that are very much in the conversation right now. That's a total of 7 points that the Seahawks have lost by the way. Seahawks and Rams both had their bye week in week 8 and have won their last 2 games, both by wide margins. They've absolutely beat teams up since returning off the bye week. Seahawks have outscored their opponents post-bye week by 46 points. The Rams have outscored their opponents post-bye week by 40 points. That is just in 2 games apiece. Rams don't leave the state this month, and Seahawks got a bit of a tough stretch remaining. As they will go out to Tennessee, which they're sitting as the number 1 pick of this year's draft class right now. So obviously we'll see. But and then they also end the season. They'll play the Rams. They'll host the Rams on TNF. That's in week 16. And then that's their last home game of the year. They're on the road for the final 2. So they'll play their last home game rather early because that is a December game. And then, all things considered, if the Rams can pull out some cool stuff here, that might be the final time that Seattle sees the Seahawks this year, even with a possible playoff run. Obviously, we know the big story here, though. I kind of mentioned his name a little bit earlier, but Cooper Kupp returns. Cooper Kupp, wide receiver, returning to Los Angeles for the first time. We absolutely love Cooper Kupp around these parts, all right? This is a Cooper Kupp positive show for sure. But Kupp is near the top in at the Rams wide receiving record books. He's done such an incredible job over the past. He was with us for, 8 seasons or so? That sounds right. And obviously we know what he was able to do. 2021 Cooper Kupp is quite literally a superhero. No one's ever done that before, and I don't know if that'll happen again. I mean, we have some players this year, namely in this game, also that are having incredible seasons, but nothing compared to that 2021 Cooper Kupp season. That's just pinnacle stuff, man. So Week 11 is his return to Los Angeles, where he made his name against a team he wanted to play for, but they told him that they were moving on. We kind of know that story, that he had made it clear to the Rams that he did not want to leave. He wanted to continue to play for the Rams, and we pretty much were like, nah, we're not even going to work something out to pay you less or anything like that. Like, we're done. Like, we're moving on. And hey, maybe you move on too early. Maybe too early. Maybe it's right on time. Who's to say? But either way, Cooper Kupp, he's doing fine this year. He does have 26 catches for 367 yards, has 1 touchdown in Seattle so far. So obviously not numbers that super jump out to you, but his ability to play on the field and what he's doing out there is what he can do out there as a set of eyeballs, man. It's coach / quarterback / wide receiver on the field when Cooper Kupp's out there. But also, I mean, he hasn't gone off in any games this year per se, but he had a great play last week against Arizona. But also you think that if there's a game that he's going to go off, it's this one, right? Like back in LA, back at SoFi Stadium where he caught the game-winning touchdown to win the Super Bowl. I mean, makes sense that he would want to show up for this one pretty big, man. So also with the quarterback who got absolutely crushed while being sent home by this team in last year's playoffs in Sam Darnold. Got embarrassed in the playoffs against the Rams in Arizona, the Rams home game as he was the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. So lots of cities involved in that sentence there, but definitely embarrassed is what I would feel comfortable saying for Sam Darnold. He looked very much like a Jets version of Sam Darnold, so it's not impossible that the Rams are able to do that, because let's keep in mind, too, that was 10 games ago. 10 games ago for Sam Darnold. I mean, yeah, sure, it was back for a different team in a different season, but that's not that many football games ago that the Rams absolutely ruined his life. So, not impossible to do it again. The motivation, though, is all there, plus control of the division while you're in November. That's motivation enough, too. And also, well, I don't throw too much shade on Cooper Kupp here, but he played 8 years with the Rams, never threw any interceptions with us, dude. What gives, Seattle? You take our boy for 1 year and he's already throwing picks and stuff? He's not even a quarterback. What are you doing to him? What are you doing out here, man? Take a look at some milestones here. Matthew Stafford needs 3 touchdown passes to pass Mark Bulger for 3rd in Rams history. Currently has played exactly 30 less games than Mark Bulger and just needs 3 touchdown passes to tie him. Update as well, Stafford is 12th in Rams history in interceptions. 3rd in touchdowns. Well, about to be 3rd in touchdowns. And 12th in interceptions. He is 9 behind Jared Goff still. And currently he is tied for 9th in Rams history for touchdown passes in a season, if we're only looking at this season. So if the season ended today, 9th best all-time for Rams history. Rams record's 41. He is on pace to break that. We'll kind of keep our eyes on that as the season goes on. But obviously we know what Matthew Stafford's been doing lately. Absolutely on fire. First quarterback in NFL history to throw for at least 4 touchdown passes in 3 straight games with no interceptions. That's absolutely incredible. First Ram to do that without interceptions even included, because he was only the 7th quarterback all time to throw for 4 touchdown passes and at least 4 touchdown passes in 3 straight games. 7th all time, but those other dudes did it with picks. He has not done it with any interceptions. 20-0 as far as the interception to pass ratio goes. His last interception was thrown on the first Rams drive of week 3. That's a while ago. I'm not trying to jinx anything, all right? I'm just trying to tell you what happened. Trying to tell you the truth here. Kyren Williams needs 25 rushing touchdowns to pass Wendell Tyler for 10th most in Rams history, so very close to that. He needs 2 rushing touchdowns to tie Wendell Tyler for 7th most in Rams history. He also is 52nd in Rams history in fumbles. Just saying. 41 of those ahead of him have played in more games than Kyren Williams. So of the 52 or 51 ahead of him, 41 of those have played in more games. Just saying. He's doing all right. Davante Adams currently tied for 12th in Rams history for touchdown receptions in a season. Record is 17. He needs just 8 to tie that. He does lead the NFL right now in touchdown receptions with 9, and a large majority of those coming like within the 2-yard line. So, the red zone threat that is Davante Adams, just as advertised, if not a little bit better. So that's been fun. And then Byron Young, he is half a sack behind 25th all-time in Rams history for sacks. So he's climbing up that list as well. He's also year 3. So Byron Young, BY, absolutely killing it. Let's see some former Rams who are on the Seahawks right now. Start, of course, wide receiver Cooper Kupp. We know all about Cooper Kupp. The 2021 Cup superhero season, climbing up. He was very close to, pretty much behind Holt and Bruce for most Rams records of all time. So obviously Cooper Kupp, we have nothing bad to say about him. I hope he does terrible this week, though. He's our opponent. he's the rival this week, man. Linebacker Ernest Jones the fourth, of course, spending time with the Seahawks as well. Rams traded him to Seattle or to Tennessee. Tennessee traded him to Seattle. That all happened in one season. So no idea what happened there. We probably will never know, but Ernest Jones looks like he should be back from injury this week and back out on the football field. And then a guy that I was always very high on, cornerback Darian Kendrick, who had a pick in week 1, had another pick a little bit later than that. I don't remember the exact game, but he does have 2 on the season, and he's had flashes and he's had moments in games where Seahawks fans are like, "Who is this guy?" And it's like, yeah, it's my dude. Like, yeah, don't talk about him as my guy, man. But and also former Rams running back coach Jake Peetz is the offensive pass game coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. Let's take a look at the matchup here. Rams offense going against that Seahawks defense. Rams on offense, 7th in the league, putting up about 383 a game, 12th ranked pass total defense for the Seahawks, about 334 a game. Passing the football, 2nd in the league here, about 260 a game through the air for the Rams, and the Seahawks give up about 216 and a half. That's 19th in the league. Rushing the football, middle of the road here for the Rams, tied for 18th, putting up 113 and a half, and the Seahawks, very good against the run. They are 3rd in the league, giving up almost 91 a game. Average points being put up just under 28 for the Rams. That's 5th in the league, and the Seahawks give up just barely over 19. That's 5th in the league. 3rd down conversion rate here, very easy math to do, as the Rams have attempted 100 exactly with a 41%. That's 11th in the league, and Seahawks 12th in the league, giving up just about 37%. So obviously, you look at the numbers there. Rams can pass. Seahawks can defend the run. So game plans are going to be really interesting to see how that is deployed. That's going to be obviously a lot on Sean McVay and how he wants to attack this Seahawks defense, which has been playing very good, very strong front. They've got some big names up front as well, with like DeMarcus Lawrence, Leonard Williams. So they've got some beef up front for sure. And it does make it hard to run on them, but I think that the Rams do have the chance to get through the air on the Seahawks defense. Rams have, by the way, evened out targets. I know that a lot of the conversation is like, well, they only target Puka Nacua. It's like, well, yeah, because he's incredible. But 79 season targets for Puka Nacua, 78 for Davante Adams. So they're 1 apart, and obviously they're both superstars, dude. They're both future Hall of Famers, and you get them the football, like, obviously, right? So for Puka Nacua, though, he's got 775 yards on 66 catches and 4 touchdowns on the year. Davante, on those 78 targets, 568 yards, so definitely less there on 42 catches. But I would say that those target percentages, catch percentages, stuff like that, definitely have increased over these last few weeks, especially since really like that London game against the Jaguars a few weeks back. That was really when Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford really started to find their rhythm together. Puka Nacua, obviously, he's still Puka Nacua. He's never going to not be Puka Nacua. Micaiah is awesome. We all know that. But Davante, I think that those averages are going to start to even up a little bit more as the season goes on. I think early on we saw a lot of disconnections there. We should be all right now. Stafford, by the way, improves his ratio to 25-2. 25 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. He leads the NFL in touchdown passes, and he is so low in the rankings on interceptions. A lot of people have thrown a lot more interceptions than Matthew Stafford, and no one's thrown as many touchdown passes. Love to see that. And it's not just that he's not turning the ball over, it's that he's putting the ball in places where it's either his guy getting it or it's not there. And it's when the guy that you're throwing the football to that you're trying to get into is Davante Adams and Puka Nacua, good things happen, man. So it's working. He's putting it in good spots, and they're grabbing it, man. And really not a lot to complain about when it comes to the Rams passing attack for sure. On the Seahawks side, they've got 15 different guys who have at least half a sack. Crazy. I think the Rams are closer to 9 or something like that. But they get a lot of dudes mixing it up in there in the backfield for sure. Last 2 games are the highest rushing totals given up by the Seahawks defense as well. So they are third against the run, giving up not even 91 a game. But those averages are getting bumped since this bye week has happened. They've still been beating up on people, but they have been giving up more rushing yards. These last 2 are their highest outputs as far as opponents' rushing yards given up. Opposing players we're keeping our eyes on. We're going to start with linebacker Ernest Jones. He does lead the Seahawks in interceptions as well as tackles, even though he has missed time with injury. He has seen some different injury issues as the season has kind of unfolded, but he's the linebacker we all knew he was and has been. He hasn't changed that. He's still absolutely killing it out here. We'll probably never know what happened between the Rams and Jones, but something happened. Like, there's no denying it that Ernest Jones is a good football player. He's very talented. He was a captain for the Rams, and we traded him after the final preseason game. Something happened. For a 6th-round pick, we just, let him have it. Yeah, here you go. You just take him. We didn't even have anybody to replace him with, So something happened there. We'll probably never know. That's fine. He's gone now. Tie's broken. He's out in Seattle. Jones playing, though, really good football. Clear-cut leader of this defense. He's a good player, man. I think that Rams fans have legitimate questions when it comes to what the heck happened there. No clue. No idea how to answer that. Next up, we'll go to safety Kobe Bryant. Bryant has been flying around this year. 2 picks on the year, 5 passes knocked down, and he gets in there as well on a lot of tackles. 45 total on the season. But he's solid in coverage, can run up and help out against the run as well. So definitely somebody to keep your eyeballs on, is flying around the defense. Very much like a Lake kind of situation where you see him just kind of all over the place. Next up, we'll go with defensive lineman Leonard Williams. With Jaron Reed being added to IR this week, Leonard Williams probably gets a little bit more action, a little bit of a role shift, I would guess, for Leonard Williams, the veteran up front for the Seahawks defensive line. He's been playing awesome, though. 5 sacks on the year, sacking each of the last 2 games, so he is getting into a little bit of a rhythm here. He's wiggling into a nice role with Seattle, alongside guys like DeMarcus Lawrence. They're just the vets of that front, and, I mean, obviously that's big to have. I mean, our big vet is Tuna, who was on the Rams Revealed this week, which is so funny to me. He did not, he's awesome. I love Tuna, but it was like, sitting there, it's like, he doesn't want to talk to JB at all. That's kind of funny, man. But if you didn't check out the Rams Revealed this week with Tuna, definitely check that out. But he's our veteran. I think he brings a lot of juice to that front, not by being vocal. Tell you that much. Best one-on-one with the Rams offense going against that Seahawks defense. We're going to go Rick Woolen versus Davante Adams. It makes sense that Woolen could travel with Adams this week, so we'll kind of see how they choose to attack Adams in that wide receiver room of the Rams. A lot of teams typically take their top guy and try to travel him with Davante Adams, which, no complaints here. That leaves Puka Nacua against a 2 all day, but also they've got a good 2 also in Witherspoon. So it's quite the matchup for them and for us, honestly. This is probably the one of the better secondaries the Rams have seen, but this has got to be one of the better wide receiver groups that the Seahawks have seen. So definitely a good battle there. Either way, though, the Adams effect will be in full play, whether he's getting traveled with or not. So Adams effect, like I said, very much in effect up in Seattle, or against Seattle this week. But very good corners for the Seahawks, so we'll see how that all shakes out. 3 to C for the Rams side here. We're going to start with running back Kyron Williams, K-Dub. Last two games, Seahawks have given up 157 and 129 rushing yards, respectively. Their two highest outputs of the season. Williams has 3 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games since the bye week, and is just, I think that he's been mainly like the top guy, but now Blake Corum is starting to get his carries kind of evened out with Kyren Williams. I'm not sure if that was part of like the initial plan over the course of the year, get Kyren up to about the 120, 125 carries range, and then really start to pull in Blake Corum. It's totally reasonable that they would have done that. This Rams team and trainers and all that stuff are very analytical, so it very well could have been like, once he gets to this number of carries, we need to start, making sure that we use our backups a lot too. I don't know if that's actually what happened or not. Just pure speculation on my end. I don't think it's impossible that the front office wanted to try to work that out. So yeah. Next up, wide receiver Davante Adams has full on become the Rams' red zone threat that we were told that he could be. So obviously that's good news here. Carl's wanting to hop in here. He's checking out that sign. He loves the Rams, dude. He likes to say he likes all the cat teams, but I think he's a Rams fan. Yeah, Davante Adams, absolutely monster red zone threat right now. You know it's coming, and you still can't stop it, and that's exactly what you want from your red zone targets, man. That's unbelievable. 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. He's absolutely killing it there. So, yeah, keep crushing it, dude. Keep crushing it. And last up here, we're going to go with tight end Terrence Ferguson, Fergie. So starting to really develop into the Rams offense. But in fairness, I think all of the tight ends are. All 4 of them look like the same player almost. They're all just white dudes who who are good at running routes and catching footballs and laying stiff armor too, dude. So it's fun to watch, man. But Terrence Ferguson, he seems to be getting more and more involved into the game plans every week. Stafford, he admittedly missed him on a couple of big ones last week. So I think that kind of stuff in the film rooms will come up, and he's like, okay, I could put that there, or like, hey, if you see this, try to do this, because there was one of those routes kind of up the seam where it looked like Ferguson was like accepting contact, and it's like, hey, get the hell away from that guy. He's trying to cover you, dude. So stop letting him. Like, break that off a little bit, man. You can kind of steepen that up a little bit and try to create some space. Give your quarterback a window to throw it to where you can chase a ball down, man. But other than that, like, you forced Stafford to try to put the ball right here instead of just a spot over here where you can go get it. So I think that kind of stuff will pop up in tape. Obviously, he's a rookie still, lots to still learn for one Terrence Ferguson. Your keys here for this side of the ball is going to be turnovers. Turnovers, man. Really feels like protecting the ball is going to be the most important part of this game. Rams have really not turned the ball over, and they have not turned the ball over in the last 3 games. So protecting it, again, absolutely critical against a division opponent who is playing good football as well. So a lot of moving pieces, man. Seahawks are prone to giving the ball away on their end, so don't beat yourself by giving it back to them, especially if we get an interception. Do not give it back to them. Get at least 3 out of that. That's how you're going to win this game. If you get an interception and then you just throw it back to them, it's like, well, that doesn't do anything. You just gave them a new set of downs. But so if you turn the ball over, get it back, because same thing on their end. If we turn the ball over, they want points on that. So try to get that thing back quick. And usually you can. Some teams get a little aggressive post turnover, so you do sometimes have an opportunity to attack when you do get a turnover, or you get it. Yeah. A return touchdown in any department could really change the outcome of this game. So punt return, kick return, even if it's just a change of the guard there in like a flip in a field position kind of situation, that can be absolutely massive for this one. 2 close games versus Seattle last year in McDonald's first year as the Seahawks head coach. Overtime and then that 5-point game late. So obviously 2 really close matchups there. Ball control and protecting, as cliche as it is, it's exactly what the Rams need to do to pull out a win. Control the ball, keep the ball. You want to win time of possession. You want to win the turnover battle, and I think good things happen to you. Flip over to the other side here. We'll go to the Seahawks offense against the Rams defense. Seahawks on defense are just sitting out of the top 10 here at 11 overall, 367 roughly a game they're putting up. Rams are also 11th in defense, giving up just about 333 a game. Passing the football, 6th ranked unit for Sam Darnold and the boys in Seattle, about 246 a game. The Rams are giving up 216, that is 18th in the league. Rushing the football, 17th ranked rush attack for the Seahawks, about 114 and a half there. And the Rams giving up about 97. That's 9th in the league against the run. Very much an improvement, massive improvement over last year. Average points being put up, 30.6 for the Seahawks. It's third in the NFL. They have definitely helped those numbers over the last few weeks. The Rams give up 17 a game. That is second in the league. Third down conversion, about 39 for the Seahawks offense. That's dead center in the NFL. And the Rams give up 33.3. That is second in the league. The Seahawks recently added wide receiver Rashid Shaheed via trade from the New Orleans Saints right at the deadline. Shaheed had 2 receptions for 20 yards last week and had 5 receptions for 68 yards against the Rams in Week 9, also at SoFi. So he gets to show up to SoFi Stadium for a new team that starts with the letter S. So that's cool for him. Seahawks off a 3-turnover game. They have turned the ball over 8 times in the last 3 games. Rams 0 in that same exact stretch. Excuse me. And the Rams defense, obviously, no sacks last week, but still very much able to get after the quarterback in Sam Darnold. There's a lot of inconsistencies, I would say, with the Seahawks offensive line. So I do think it is something that the Rams can exploit. I think that you look at some of the hilarious highlights that have been out for some of their players that, I mean, obviously, if I'm talking about it here, me and Tuna were talking about it on Tuna and the Sheriff on Wednesday morning, live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. LA time, First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel and Rams Showcase Facebook page. But we're talking about it there as well, that if we're talking about this offensive line and some of the stuff that you can pull off against the Seahawks offensive line, then there's a 0% chance that Chris Shula, G Money, and Giff Smith for the Rams coaching staff on the defensive side aren't seeing and saying these same things. We're not going to say or see anything that they don't. It's not going to happen. And if it does, we got a problem. I think if we're pointing things out that they don't see, oof, not good times, dude. So obviously, I'm sure they're seeing it and formulating attacks. But I think that the deployment of the Rams rushers this week, where Jared Verse, Josiah Stewart, Byron Young, and even those the actual defensive linemen, your Kobe Turners, your Braden Fisk, Poona Fords, all those guys, and where they're lining up, I think is going to be mixed up a lot this week. I think that we're going to see a lot of really interesting things as far as the pass rush goes against this Seattle Seahawks team in an effort to try to shake Sam Darnold, I would say. So obviously, no sacks last week, like I said, but the ability to get after any quarterback, put up double-digit sacks in any given game. San Fran, though, they specifically, first of all, they did a good job blocking last week. And they also specifically design a game plan where it kind of negates the pass rush. That's why you see the Rams defense kind of set up a little bit differently when playing the San Francisco 49ers. And we'll kind of see how they approach this game because, again, we had 2 really close games against the Seahawks last year with Mike McDonald. So we're going to see how, because he's obviously a really good coach. He's done a really good job out there in Seattle, and Pete Carroll's destroyed the Raiders. So feel good that Mike is doing a good job out there, So obviously, really curious to see where this game plan kind of unfolds. Because McDonald, I mean, he's been a really good coordinator in the league before for really good teams, and he's bringing that success over to the Seahawks. So tough game for the Rams, no matter what, no matter how you shake it. Some opposing players we're keeping our eyes on here. Your 3 to see of the offense, the other side, I suppose it is. We're going to start with wide receiver Cooper Kupp coming back to Los Angeles for the first time since being cut by the Rams this last offseason. Obviously, we have nothing bad to say about Cooper Kupp. I know a lot of people are very large supporters of Cooper Kupp. I know I've got some viewers here that we're talking about, like, I hope Cooper Kupp just goes off on us. And I know this morning on Tuna and the Sheriff, we had comments like, I'm wearing my Cooper Kupp jerseys all week, stuff like that. Look, I'm never going to tell you how to be a fan. That's absurd behavior to tell you how to be a fan. There's really no wrong way. But I ain't repping no rival. All right? Even if it's Rams gear. I'm rocking with no rival. I hope Cooper Kupp does terrible this week, dude. I love Cooper Kupp. I wish nothing best for Cooper Kupp and his family, Anna and stuff, dude. Like, but no, I hope he sucks this week. Hope he has like 12 dropped passes. We're going to be like, oh yeah, this is why we didn't keep him. I hope we get to go in with that attitude. The second the game's over, dude, back to wishing him the best. But against the Rams specifically, no, I would never hope that he does well against us, man. Oh, nobody does well against us. What are you talking about? That's crazy business, man. And my own cousin is a really awesome linebacker in college right now. And if he plays against the Rams, I hope he gets smoked. Sorry about it, dude. The Rams run thicker than blood, for sure. That's for sure. But Cooper Kupp, like I said, obviously his first trip back to Los Angeles, so he's going to be fired up for this one, man. He's going to be ready to play. And I want to know who gets his jersey at the end. You think there's going to be a jersey swap? Do you think it would just be Stafford? Like it makes sense that it would just be Stafford, but who gives up their rivalries jersey, dude? That's the question, man. And if it happens, does it come with the caveat that Cooper Kupp has to give up his rivalry jersey in the next game? We'll see. Next up here, wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba, JSN. He is having an unbelievable season. Already 1,000 yards receiving. Seriously, he's legitimately going off this year. He's catching everything. His quote was like, I just decided I wanted to be one of the best in the league, and so he just did it, and it's like, it's working. What the hell happened? Like, how, dude? What? It's kind of crazy to see, but he is absolutely on fire right now. Leads the league in yards and yards per game, of course. That is important because he's already had his bye week. So still leads the league in yards. He's already had his bye. He had 93 yards last week. Before that, had 5 straight games of at least 120 receiving yards. Let's not pretend like these Rams corners are, we don't have those top tier guys. We have really good corners, and they're playing really good football right now. But JSN going over 120, certainly possible. It doesn't necessarily dictate whether that's a win or a loss. Too many moving pieces for that to be the case, to be able to say if he goes for 120, we lose kind of thing. But yeah, he's killing it this year, and he is certainly capable of doing it to us. So just know that is certainly possible. And then last up here, I'm going to go with Sam Darnold. And my real comment here is, who are you, dude? Who are you, Sam? Who are you? Which Sam exists in this world, in this timeline of the universe that I'm living on right now? Because I remember the old timeline where Fruit Loops was spelled different. There was a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Looms logo, and Sam Darnold sucked at football, all right? You can't tell me that wasn't real, all right? So who are you, Sam? Who sent you here, man? But either way, he's killing it right now, dude. So Minnesota Vikings, I think, are very much looking at it like, oh, it wasn't Kevin O'Connell running a sick offense. Sam Darnold actually might be good, So now, obviously, he's doing it for Seattle, working out. That's it. That's my reaction to Sam Darnold, dude. It's a very Shane Gillis response on who the heck is Sam Darnold. That's crazy, man. Best one-on-one. I'm going to give it to Emmanuel Forbes versus JSN. Forbes says that he's the fastest player on the roster, and he may get his chance to prove it this week, chasing down JSN all day. Also, back-to-back picks for Forbes in the last 2 games, so obviously we hope that streak continues as well. Speaking of 3-C for the Rams, we'll start with Emmanuel Forbes. Back-to-back interceptions. Strong duo coming in this week, though. He's going to get some time against Cooper Kupp, going to get some time against JSN. As far as the other corners go, I'm not sure the deployment of guys like Darius Williams, Kobe Durant, even a Roger McCreary recently added right at the trade deadline via the Tennessee Titans. Not sure when he's going to really start to get involved, but it really could be this week. All hands on deck, by the way, because, I mean, this game, you win this game, you're in first place of the NFC West in November. Not much more you can ask for. You obviously hope that, Philly, who you've already lost to, can get knocked down a little bit so you can actually push for that 1 seed, but, I mean, what more could you ask for, dude? Next up here on 3-C, I'm going to give it to 2 here. We're going V8 and BY. Jared Verse, Byron Young, no sacks last week. They just weren't able to get home, but this duo ruined Sam Darnold's life in January. Could it happen again? Yeah, it could. It absolutely could happen. That's very realistic that this could happen again, actually. These guys are maniacs, man, so we'll see. They've got to be getting hungry, huh? And last up on the 3-C for the Rams, Quentin Lake, Q Lake, Captain Q. As lots of pressure going onto the outside, obviously, with Cooper Kupp and JSN this week. But Torrey Horton, Rashid Shaheed coming in off of the slot this week. That's just as scary and just as difficult to defend. The entire secondary they just need to have a big day in this one. Lots of weapons for the Seattle Seahawks all over the place, all throughout the depth. I imagine that this is what other teams talk about when they're playing the Rams, where you're like, yeah, they've got Devontae and Puka are hard to cover, but their depth is good too. I don't know. Maybe Rams fans are the only ones that give other people credit. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only Rams podcast saying this stuff. That's true too. I don't know. Never know, man. Never know. But either way, entire secondary needs to have a good day, man. Lake is going to spend a lot of time in the slot watching over the middle. Mac Jones was able to find some room over the middle at different times. So I'm sure that'll come up in tape, and we just need to be able to cover that. So obviously, with cover in the middle, that's tough in the way that the Rams kind of deploy their defense in the right schemes and the right play action timings and all that stuff. It can definitely you can find room right there over the middle. If you can pull up that linebacker just a little bit, typically you can get behind there. We usually don't have a safety that much further up. Cam Curl, though, can sometimes get in there and kind of close up some windows. So not impossible for sure, but tough task, man. Some very good wide receivers. At least the top 4 are very good for Seattle. So definitely plenty of guys to watch out for. And your key for this matchup, turnovers, dude. Turnovers. Yes, it's the same key as the other side of the football. Obviously, we're both 7-2. Trying to win a football game, man. This is big stuff right now. We're in November division football. Turnovers are your big deal, man, always. Seahawks have turned the ball over 8 times their last 3 games. The Rams have gotten 4 turnovers in the last 2 weeks. Numbers working there, man. Numbers are working there for me. And how the Rams get to Sam Darnold will be very fun to watch. How they try to attack and get after Sam Darnold is going to be rather fun. But off of a no-sack game, these maniacs could start to get hungry, man. They could very well start to get hungry. Do you know what happens when these kind of maniacs get hungry? Yeah, Sam Darnold found out in January just exactly what happens. You get freaking flying squirrels and stuff out of here, dude. It's crazy, man. Pass rush and not letting Sam Darnold find JSN so easily is, I think, the biggest key as far as the Rams defense goes. Rams lack a top-tier corner who can just take somebody out of the game. We're definitely missing that, when we had Jalen Ramsey in 21 where it's like, okay, well, he's out of the game, so what about everybody else? We don't have that now. So obviously, pass rush is going to be very important to help out that secondary this go-around and for the rest of the year, but need to force Sam Darnold into some mistakes, which is certainly not impossible, but he's playing some really good football. So this is one hell of a matchup. Rams are in their rivalries uniforms for this one. They're basically black. They're midnight blue, but they're basically black. They're so blue that they're black. You know what I mean? I wish they were a little bit more navy, in my own personal opinion. Also wish we were wearing our midnight uniforms, not in the middle of the day. Come on now, man. But either way. That's your game preview, man. Seahawks taking on the Rams, SoFi Stadium, 1:05 p.m. local time in Los Angeles. This game is televised on Fox. Be sure to catch it, your local listings, or if you got to go out for it. Speaking of, I will be going out for it, and you can catch me live on the Ram Showcase Facebook page and YouTube channel as I'll go live as I'm heading out to go watch the game. That's typically around halftime of the early games, so ballpark it there. But we'll take off and we'll go catch a football game. It's going to be some good stuff. Friday as well, full game preview from myself and Tuna on Tuna and the Sheriff. That is streamed live Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the First of Tuna Podcast YouTube channel and the Rams Showcase Facebook page. Make sure you check us out there. Seahawks, Rams, this is legitimately one of the best games probably so far of the season. We may get some better stuff later, but right now, leading up to this point of the season, this is the best matchup we've seen in any division, any conference, anything. So eyeballs locked in, man. This is going to be some good stuff. We got Fan Quesos. That's on the other side of this break. It is Ram Showcase. Welcome back in, Ram Showcase. My name's Sheriff Joe Bags. We need to head over to the Facebook page here. I know we got Edwin back in this week. Edwin, man, you disappeared on me all week last week, dude. You weren't there for Fan Quesos, then you weren't on the pregame stream. I was worried about you, dude, but you're back in this week, so let me find these real quick. I have that many followers? That's so weird. I don't feel like I'm very interesting. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that information. Let's start here. We're Fan Quesos here. So we got these first few here coming from Edwin. Emphasis on the win. Says, I missed last week's Queso, so I told myself I'm not going to miss this week. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's see. What a win. Blowing out the Niners is always a good feeling. Number one, how many more punch-outs will Landman have this year? I think he gets like another good 4. Like, because it's tough too, man, because like people are going to start to see it coming. And also, it's not just Landman anymore, man. It didn't work. It wasn't a fumble, but I saw Kobe Durant try. He was throwing some blows, dude. So I don't think it's impossible. It's kind of leaking into the rest of the defense as well. But Nate, man, he's yeah, I think that's a couple more at the very minimum. I would say 4 or 5 feels like it's legitimate. And I'm just wanting to see him like more on wide receivers, because those running backs are going to start to get they're going to go a little hip to it. You know what I mean? They're going to be running Tiki Barber style against Landman or something, you know. But against wide receivers, I think he can get some, dude. I think that's going to be the moneymaker there. Let's see here. Number 2, how many sacks will we get against Sam this Sunday? I'm saying at least 3. At least 3, dude. At least 300, man. I think that coming off of a game, so total in 2 games against the Niners, the Rams only had 1 sack in both games. And it was a combo sack with was that BY and Turner in the first game, but didn't get any of this last week. So I think that like a lot of people are like, well, maybe the Rams pass rushes, but no. It's just Shanahan who's like, don't let them do that to you. Like, get rid of the ball, man. So, yeah, we'll see what the offensive game plan is for Seattle and getting rid of the football and pass protection and stuff like that. But I do feel pretty good that the Rams will be able to get in there. Sam Darnold's also one of those guys that's, I mean, as well as he's playing right now, he is one of those guys, too, that does tend to hold onto the ball a little bit longer. So I do think that we can get in there on him. Let's see here. Last one here from Edwin. This is the first time Kupp will face us as an opponent. He will forever be a Rams legend. What is your favorite Kupp moment? Go Rams, go Joe. Go Edwin, man. Favorite Kupp moment, man. There's a lot to pick from. Against the Bengals in London, he absolutely destroyed their souls. TNF against the Minnesota Vikings when Jared Goff had 158.3 passer rating. Cooper Kupp had a really big day that day. But how do you go against he's got Kupp again? Like, I mean, that's just the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome. And then also you look at NFC Championship, that play over the middle where he kind of breaks out of that tackle. And then for like the first time in our watching careers of Cooper Kupp, he just gets up and yells to the sky. And it was like, oh, we're winning the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those. But I think that, I mean, you can pick out a game or a moment from all of those games, especially in that playoff run. Maybe not so much that first game because we blew the doors off of Arizona. But like in those other games, man, it's like you can look at a moment there where it's like, oh, if we don't have Cooper Kupp, we don't win. You can absolutely pick those out. That one, I mean, you heard the explanation. He was like, yeah, it's a 2 deep fire zone. I didn't see a bit safety on the back. You know, it's like, so I just know how to beat my man to the spot. It's like that kind of stuff there is like, who else does that outside of Cooper Kupp? Like, they probably don't even run a deep ball there if it's not Cooper Kupp. You know what I mean? And then Stafford also seeing it in a split second as well and hitting him in stride for a great catch. Then that play against the middle there. It's like, I mean, without that catch, who knows, man? And then obviously Cooper Kupp in the Super Bowl. We know what he did in the Super Bowl. No looker to pulling that safety up to get that first down there. He drew that holding call in the red zone and then was able to score the touchdown. So, I mean, is to pick one singular Cooper Kupp moment, I think is damn near impossible. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting, I guess, for him to retire so that I can be like a supporter again, because I have a weird time with supporting full-on rivals. You know what I mean? Not that I like hope anything bad or anything like that, but it's like, at least while he's playing the Rams, I don't want him to do well. Like, I don't want anybody to do well against the Rams. I talk about that all the time, though. I don't want anybody to do a good job against my team. I hope they all suck all the time. Let's see here. Where are we going to go here? We're just going to go down the list. I'm not even going to try to figure this out. We're not going to big brain this. We're going to small brain this. All right. Heading over to the YouTube channel, Payo time. Missing out again this week. I don't know what's going on with Payo. Payo, what happened, dude? What happened? You got no questions now? Have I fulfilled your Rams knowledge, man? You don't have any. You're not curious about anything? Yeah. Anyway, from Paul says, do you think Carty is finished as the Rams kicker? Hard to tell, but I don't think so because he's still technically around now. And I know that's such a weird thing to talk about, but the fact that McQuaid was signed and then Alex Ward was waived, basically saying, like, yeah, we're going to just roll with McQuaid the rest of the year. But now we have 2 kickers on our team, Mevis and Carty. I'm just saying, it just feels like they want Carty to work out. You know what I mean? I even actually, you can see it right behind me here. This is my Joshua Carty signed pylon, and this is my lucky beanie. I'm doing my part, all right? Whenever I wear this beanie, good things happen to the Rams, man. So I put it on my Josh Carty signed pylon. He's never going to miss another kick, dude. Those are the rules. I don't make the rules, all right? I just live by them, all right? But this is very important. Very important. Whenever Josh misses a kick the next time, you can ask me, like, did you move the beanie? Because sometimes I'm going to want to wear it, all right? If he does miss it, stays here forever, though. Those are the rules. But hard to say, man. I wish I had more insight on this because I get these questions so much. I wish I had more insight and more knowledge of what the Rams' plan is. But hey, as long as Mevis is kicking it, I'm cool with that. If they choose to go with Carty, I'm cool with that. I support whatever decision they make. Ultimately, is I think kind of my whole point on that kind of stuff. I feel like they know what's going on. They're seeing the practice. They're seeing the conversations in the meeting rooms and stuff like that. They'll make the best decision. Whoever they pick, like, who the hell am I to say, like, no, it's got to be this guy. If it's this guy, that's going to suck. We need this guy. It's like, well, what do I know? I'm in Colorado right now. I don't know anything, dude. So hard to answer that question, but I would say I don't think he's finished with the Rams simply because they have not given up on him yet. I think it's important. Well, let's see here. From Rams House, whose house? Says, what was a more underrated pickup, Puna Ford or Coleman Shelton? Underrated pickup, I'm going to go Puna Ford because I don't think there's anything underrated about the addition of Coleman Shelton, who's absolutely on fire right now. And also, thank goodness for Coleman Shelton, dude. I don't, like, I was hesitant to say anything out loud about this, but, like, Bo Limmer's been inactive. Not even a backup for game days. You know what I mean? I like Bo. He had a great rookie season. He did exactly what we needed him to do as a 6th-round center rookie out of Arkansas, where we needed him to be our center all year, and it worked until the very end, of course. On the final 2 plays of the Rams drive, he was the one that missed blocks there, or missed assignments. But Coleman Shelton coming in, man, it's like, if we didn't have Coleman Shelton, what would we look like right now? Like, truly. I mean, I ask that earnestly, is like, if we did not bring back Coleman Shelton, would we have more losses right now? Like, I don't know how to equate wins and losses for your center, but it does feel like, based on what we've seen from the depth and the starter last year from Bo Limmer, in his limited assistance at guard and stuff like that, that maybe we're not as good if we didn't bring back Coleman Shelton. So I am retroactively even more thrilled that we brought back Coleman Shelton. I don't think there's anything underrated about that. Puna Ford, I think, doesn't get a lot of conversation. Man, that's kind of funny to talk about after his Rams revealed this week, where he basically was like just giving like one-word answers to Puna Ford. Conversation's not something Puna Ford's about, all right? But I think that's, as far as like the Rams conversation goes outside of the building, a lot of attention goes to Nate Landman for the Rams' run defense improvements. And I think there is something major to be said that Puna Ford is helping out big time and is not getting as much attention for stuffing the run as somebody like Nate Landman. But Coleman Shelton, though, I think gets all the love in the world because, seriously, where would we be if he wasn't here right now? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see here. Rams house. Who's house? Don't get me wrong. SoFi Stadium is awesome. Where are you going with this? I want to stop you right there and say whatever you're saying right now, probably bananas. Okay? I'm going to stop you right there. Also, have you seen the renderings for SoFi Stadium with a Olympic swimming pool in it? Looks weird, man. Looks weird. Anyway, don't get me wrong. SoFi Stadium is awesome. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I don't know, dude. I don't trust you. Right now, before reading the rest of this, I don't trust you yet. It says, do you ever reflect on fun memories or games from the Coliseum? Oh, okay. There was something so cool about that little time capsule of that era. The real grass, sunlight, fireworks during primetime games, etc. With that being said, I think it would be cool if the Rams did one throwback game during the year where they play at the Coliseum wearing their throwbacks. This could be during a Chargers home game, I guess. Interesting. I don't expect this to ever happen, but I think it would be so sick. Your thoughts? That would be sick, man, but how could you not just utilize the gorgeous, incredible, perfect SoFi Stadium? I never got to see a game at the Coliseum, and I'm very bummed out about that. But also, I've heard stories. It's like, yeah, it was cool historic-wise, but it's not a good venue to watch a game at. Like, it's tough for, like, concessions and stuff like that. I heard those comments a lot. So, it would be really cool to kind of pull out some, like, vintage stuff there. And I think for myself, during that time where the Rams were playing at the Coliseum, for myself, I was sitting there as a fan born in 1991 who really started paying close attention to football around 2000-ish, a little bit before that maybe. But, like, as a fan of that time, like, in that window, watching really just the St. Louis Rams. I didn't know the LA Rams before that. They moved to St. Louis when I was 4, you know what I mean? So I didn't know that. But to see those uniforms on that field and that backdrop was so fun, dude. That was so, so cool to see. I think it belongs there, though. I think it belongs in that setting, in that situation in the past. I think that this is a new era of Rams football, and while appreciating and soaking in and how fun that was to get those historical throwbacks in those years while SoFi was being built, I think that we're okay. I personally, I would say that I'm good. I'm good. We got to see it. We got to see some really cool stuff. But where the Rams are at right now, they're this current era of Rams football, which I'm absolutely in love with right now. I think it's just been absolutely so much fun. Uniform, stadium, vibes, hair gel, all of it, man. It's absolute pinnacle. No one does it better than us in the league in all those categories. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it would be cool to see, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. But if I was, making decisions, I would say, nah, we don't need to do that. Like, let's leave those memories. Let's not ruin those memories. Not necessarily that they would get ruined per se, but those memories are solidified. Let's keep them there. It's kind of how I feel. I'm sure most people disagree with me, though. I'm sure most people agree with you that this would be awesome. Throwback uniforms at the Coliseum once a year? Hell yeah. But yeah, I think I'm on the outside of that one a little bit. I think so. Next up, what happened to Whittington? Do you think he gets more snaps with the 13 personnel? That's tough, man. It was actually kind of interesting. We talked about this on Tuna and the Sheriff that not only did we see 13 personnel, but we saw 13 personnel with Mump as the one wide receiver and Higbee not even out there. So we saw like a Ferg, Allen, Parkey, and Mump, and Blake Corum, 13 personnel set up. And it's like, damn, dude. Like, what are you doing? It's like we have the potential to make this package even like way more talented. No shots at Blake or Mump or anybody, but like when you can put out a Parkey for a Higbee, Mump for Devontae, and Corum for Kyron, that's better. You know what I mean? Like those are more talented players. So I think that Whittington is, I don't know, man. There is something going on with the reps there where it just doesn't seem like he's getting as involved. There's something there, but also as long as the Rams offense is rolling, no complaints, I guess, at least from my end. I don't know what I would complain about. Because it's also like, it's like very much the fantasy football world where it's like, well, this guy's on my fantasy team. We're like, oh, this guy's not doing anything. It's like, yeah, but we're beating the crap out of people. Who cares who's scoring? I don't care if Colby Parkinson scores all the touchdowns. Like, from Stetson Bennett to Colby Parkinson, I don't care. As long as they're wearing Rams uniforms when they do it, that's all I care about. That's what the Rams do. I don't care about fantasy. I don't care about any of that other stuff. But Whittington, I would say I'm not upset that he's not getting involved. I'm a little just surprised. I would like to know why, because he does seem like a very good player. He seems like he fits into our offense so well. And the second that Tutu went down, I really thought we'd see more Whittington. Instead, we just see a lot more 13. Less Whittington, more tight ends. That's what we've been seeing. So, which definitely surprises me. Ooh, I'm gonna flip that one. All right, we'll end on that one. Rams House says favorite Gerald Everett moments. Solid. I'll tell you my least favorite Gerald Everett moment. Those that might have been preseason. It had to have been preseason. Yeah, it was. Preseason game, Denver, Rams, Broncos. Going down the list here, I'm like standing there. I'm like a child with my stuff and my Sharpie. I'm like, yeah, And that's how I do it. But Gerald Everett's going down the line, signing everybody's stuff. He signs this guy's thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm all excited. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, Gerald Everett. This guy's so hard to tackle. As long as he catches the football with his brick hands, he's so hard to tackle. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to get his autograph. And as soon as he signed that dude, so he looked up at me and goes, that was my last one. And then just turned and walked away. And I'm like an adult. I'm a grown man, but I was still heartbroken. You know what I mean? I was still like, oh, like, God, I want to be cool too. But yeah, that was my least favorite Gerald Everett moment. My favorite, I want to say it was the Chargers that we were playing against, where he had a really sick touchdown catch where he just like stiff armed the soul out of somebody. I want to say that was the Chargers. I might be making that up. He may have been playing for the Chargers. My favorite Gerald Everett moment is him leaving. It's like, yeah, get the hell out of here. I hate that too. Like when a player burns me in like a real life setting, that like the second they're like cut or something like that, I'm like, good, get out of here. Like Sam Bradford blew me off hard in 2010 for an autograph, like so hard, like in kind of a rude way too. But we won't get into all that. But then we traded him and I was like, good, get out of here, Sam. Won't even sign my stuff. Like it's like, I got your jersey rookie season, dude. I'm wearing your jersey as I asked for that autograph. Good, whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that was my least favorite Gerald Everett moment, and my most favorite Gerald Everett moment might not even be with the Rams. Tough. And last one here from Rams House. If Cam Kinchins was a candy, what candy would he be? So Cam Kinchins, real sweet, right? Real sweet, but he's also tough. Cam Kinchins is a jawbreaker. I probably will switch it out and use jawbreaker for somebody else at some point. But right now I'm going jawbreaker, or I'll go Jolly Rancher. Jolly Rancher for Cam Kinchins. And for some reason I'm feeling green apple. I don't know if anybody else feels that. Feeling a green apple because it's got a little bit, just a little kick to it, dude. Like a little more than you're expecting from just a regular old hard candy, just a regular old safety out here, dude. Like you're not expecting it to hit that hard, and it does, and you're like, whoa, okay, but not to the level of like a warhead. You know what I mean? Where it just like ruins your day. Also, like he's gonna let you know he's there. He's gonna let you know he's there. Afterwards, you're gonna be like, I can do another one, and then you do another one. You're like, all right, that was too much. Yeah, chill. Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. You can't argue with me. Boom! Thank you for your fan quesos. Make sure you guys drop those. We ask those on the Ram Showcase YouTube channel and Facebook page. I share it to my personal Facebook as well. If you can add me as a friend, I don't care. That's totally fine. The internet's not real. But you can add me there. Check it out there. And then you can ask me those quesos. If there's another spot you would like me to ask the quesos so that you can get yours in, just let me know, and we can certainly arrange that. There's this device that I've got here, and connects me to a bunch of different websites and stuff, and apps and stuff. Probably that you're on too, so we can. It's just right here. It's the whole world right in my hands, dude. Like I'm freaking Rocket Man, dude. Harlan Williams. I don't know if anybody gets that. Kind of showing my age with that reference. Yoinks, dude. Make sure you follow on socials at Sheriff Joe Bags, at Ram Showcase, ramshowcase.com. We'll be live Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning, 7 a.m. LA time on the First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel and Ram Showcase Facebook page for Tuna and the Sheriff. On Friday mornings, we'll be doing our game preview. Monday mornings, we'll be talking about the game that just happened. Wednesdays, kind of a bit of a wild card day as we kind of shift gears into the next week and kind of talk about a bunch of stuff. So join us there. It's an absolutely awesome time. That's 7 a.m. again. We usually end about 7:30 a.m. because I got to go to work and stuff. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. That is going to do it for me. I am Sheriff Joe Bags. This has been Ram Showcase on Sports War Radio and the Fan-Sided Network. For those of you who aren't Rams fans, our thoughts and prayers are with you. For those of you who are Rams fans, thank you so much for watching, and go Rams.